If someone shows these signs, they're melting inside when you're near. Old Stoic wisdom. Love is not about how much you say, "I love you," but how much you prove that it's true. They may seem calm, even indifferent when you're around, but there's an unmistakable shift. Their gaze lingers a little too long, their hands are restless, and it's as if they're holding on to composure by the thinnest thread, yet you can feel the pressure building beneath the surface. In all my years of studying human behaviour, this is a pattern I've witnessed time and time again. When someone's emotions are overflowing, but their lips remain sealed, the body becomes the messenger. And in those quiet moments, when words are absent, their actions speak louder than any confession could. Often, these signs are suppressed by fear, confusion, or sheer unwillingness to confront what's being felt. But emotions don't ask for permission to surface. They escape through fleeting glances, subtle gestures, or the way someone's posture shifts when you step into a room. In this video, I'll reveal the psychological clues that someone is quietly melting inside just by your presence. These signals are delicate, easy to miss, but once you recognize them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Let's uncover the truth in these silent whispers, starting now. Sign 1. The gaze that tries to escape, but keeps coming back. When you're near someone who's emotionally torn, you'll notice something subtle, yet unmistakable. Their eyes. They seem to avoid your gaze, only to circle back to it over and over again. It's almost as if there's an invisible pull they can't resist. They won't hold your gaze for long, but it keeps coming back to you. The moment you catch them looking, they quickly avert their eyes, as if you've caught them in the act of stealing something intimate. This is not mere shyness, nor is it a coincidence. This is the dance of emotional conflict, what psychologists call approach avoidance conflict. It's a powerful internal tug of war. One part of them yearns for emotional closeness, while the other part is afraid of the vulnerability that comes with it. Their eyes betray this deep internal struggle, revealing a desire to connect, yet a fear of being seen too deeply. This isn't just a passing glance, it's a powerful magnetic pull that they can't fully control. If their eyes keep coming back to you, even in a crowded room or amidst casual conversation, it's not an accident. It's a signal that their subconscious is reaching out to you, even as their conscious mind warns them to retreat. That look they try to hide, the one they're not even aware of, is not simply attraction. It's emotional intensity, trying desperately to remain contained. You can feel it. You can see it. It's an unspoken language of the soul, speaking louder than any words ever could. And here's the truth. You must understand the deeper message here. They want you, but they're terrified to let you in. But this is where you must apply the lessons of the Old Stoic mindset, the principles of mental fortitude and wisdom that have endured for centuries. You must understand that such emotional vulnerability is not something to fear, but something to embrace. The Stoics, with their iron mind, would say that we must not shy away from discomfort. Instead, we must face it head-on. And while this person might struggle with their own vulnerability, your own strength, your ability to be calm and centered, as the Stoics taught, will provide the stability they need to feel safe enough to open up. You see, the old Stoics taught us that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a doorway to strength. So when you see these signs, don't shy away or retreat. The battle they're waging inside is one we all face in some form or another. Their eyes are a reflection of their internal storm, and how you respond, whether with patience, understanding, or quiet strength, will be the determining factor in whether they feel safe enough to stop hiding and allow themselves to connect with you. If their gaze comes back again and again, it's not just a fleeting moment. It's their emotions reaching out, testing the waters, trying to gauge your response. In such moments, the Stoic principle of equanimity can guide you. Stay calm, stay grounded, and let your presence be steady. Don't demand or push for their vulnerability. Instead, let them feel safe in your stability. In doing so, you'll create an environment in which they feel empowered to be open, without fear of judgment or rejection. This is the essence of emotional intelligence, recognizing the internal conflicts of others, understanding them, and offering a safe space for those conflicts to resolve. Think about the old Stoics again. Their iron minds, their ability to remain unaffected by external forces. When you're confronted with such emotional intensity, don't be swept away by it. Let it come, observe it, but do not allow it to control you. Just as the Stoics remained unshaken by life's storms, you too must remain steady in the face of emotional turbulence. This isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about being strong enough to handle the heat of someone else's emotions without letting it burn you. It's about finding balance, embracing the vulnerability in others while protecting your own inner peace. Remember, the battle inside them is not unlike the struggles we all face. Everyone has moments of vulnerability, moments when we long to connect but fear being exposed. The old Stoics were not immune to such feelings. They knew that to live fully, to truly engage with the world, we must face these fears head-on. The next time you see that conflicted gaze, understand that it's not a sign of weakness, but a call for strength. And the best way to respond is with the steadiness of an iron mind, rooted in the timeless wisdom of Stoic principles. So, here's your task. Next time you see someone caught in this emotional crossfire, don't turn away or ignore it. Recognize it for what it is, a signal that they're trying to connect with you, but are caught in their own inner storm. Show them the calm strength of an iron mind, grounded in old Stoic wisdom. And above all, be patient. Let them come to you on their own terms, and when they do, welcome them with open arms, knowing that you were the one who helped them navigate their vulnerability. Sign 2. Nervous energy, the fidget, the sigh, the hidden smile. Nervous energy, the fidget, the sigh, the hidden smile. You can feel it in the air, even if it's faint. They're trying to maintain composure, but their body betrays them in the smallest, almost imperceptible ways. It's in the way they adjust their sleeves, tap their fingers rhythmically on the surface, or run a hand through their hair without a reason. These subtle gestures may seem trivial, but they are anything but, each one a sign of something more profound. This restless energy only emerges when you're near, a silent indicator that something is stirring inside them that they can't quite control. Psychologically, this is known as displacement behavior, a concept rooted in the principles of practical Stoicism. When someone feels overwhelmed by emotions like excitement, anxiety, or even the fear of vulnerability, their brain redirects that pent-up energy into small, often unnoticed physical actions. It's a survival mechanism, a way of expressing emotions that feel too overwhelming to articulate openly. You see, emotions can't always be contained by the mind. The body, in its wisdom, finds a way to speak. But that's just the beginning. Then there's the sigh, the quiet release of tension, deep and almost imperceptible, as if they're trying to let go of something too heavy. It's not just a breath, it's a momentary surrender, or the smile they almost manage to conceal when you speak to them, perhaps when you share something simple, something sincere. You might catch the faintest flicker on their face, a warmth, a vulnerability that escapes their careful control before they mask it again. That fleeting moment, though brief, reveals more than any words ever could. It shows that beneath their cool exterior, there's something else stirring, something they're desperately trying to keep hidden. And don't be fooled. These aren't just random movements or nervous tics. They are the signals of a heart that is struggling to stay composed, while, in truth, it's quietly unraveling in your presence. This is where the Stoic rules come into play. The idea that one should maintain composure, remain unshaken in the face of internal turmoil, is powerful. But even the Stoics knew that the heart, when it feels deeply, can't always keep the body from speaking. What happens next is key. When the body begins to communicate in these small but telling ways, it's often because the heart is too full to remain silent. In modern life, we may try to bury these emotions, suppress them, mask them with distractions, or dismiss them as trivial. But like the Stoic wisdom teaches us, ignoring what we feel doesn't make it go away. Instead, it often finds another way to reveal itself, whether we like it or not. This is the nature of being human. We are creatures of emotion, driven by forces both seen and unseen, conscious and unconscious. And when someone is melting inside, struggling to stay composed while their heart speaks volumes through these subtle movements, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a testament to the complexity of human connection. When someone shows this kind of vulnerability, when their body reveals the emotional turmoil they are trying to mask, it's a powerful indicator of their feelings toward you. You have the choice: ignore it, or see it for what it is, a sign that they care, that their presence is not just a formality, but something that matters deeply to them. The Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that self-control is paramount, but it also emphasizes the importance of understanding and respecting the emotions of others. In your own life, if you notice these signs in someone, recognize them for what they are: a delicate dance between composure and the overwhelming force of inner feelings. This is a powerful lesson in emotional awareness, one that can make all the difference in how you connect with those around you. Understanding these subtle cues can deepen your relationships, allowing you to approach situations with more empathy and insight. Don't just see the surface, see the heart beneath it. When someone's nervous energy speaks volumes, don't let the chance to connect pass you by. Instead, take it as a moment to honor their vulnerability, a rare gift in a world where we often hide our true selves behind masks of stoic indifference. If you've ever noticed these subtle signs, it's a reminder that people's emotions can speak louder than their words. Don't ignore the unspoken connection. See it for what it is. If you recognize this in someone, drop a comment right now. I see beyond the surface. Like this video, subscribe for more timeless wisdom, and remember, understanding someone's silent struggle is where true connection begins. Sign 3. They mirror you without realizing it. Picture this. You lean in, and without thinking, they do the same. You cross your arms, and moments later, they follow suit. It's subtle, almost like a synchronized dance, but it happens instinctively, without any rehearsal. The truth is, they're not copying you on purpose. Their mind is doing this without their conscious awareness, because emotionally, they are in sync with you. Psychologists refer to this as mirroring, and it's one of the most powerful unconscious signs of a deep emotional connection. When someone mirrors your posture, tone, or even your energy, it means they are trying to build rapport, signaling, "I feel safe with you. I want to connect." And when someone is emotionally stirred, when their heart is melting just by being near you, mirroring becomes almost impossible to control. They are not trying to imitate you. They are resonating with you, like two emotional frequencies syncing up naturally, without either person realizing it. It's as if your energies are aligned, operating on the same wavelength. It's an unspoken bond. When you notice these subtle echoes of your behavior mirrored back to you, don't ignore it. Their heart is responding to yours, whether they're aware of it or not. This is the undeniable power of connection, and if you're paying attention, you'll see the signs. Just as Epictetus taught on the paths of wisdom, understanding the natural flow of human behavior is key to mastering personal interactions. Life is not about force, it's about resonance. The more you tune into these subtle signals, the more you realize you don't have to chase or manipulate, you just have to be present. When they mirror you, it's their way of telling you that you've awakened something deep within them. It's a Stoicism win. That's your victory. But remember, just as the ancient Stoics emphasized control over emotions, be aware that this mirroring is not always a sign of true intention. Sometimes it's just a subconscious response, but when it aligns with their deeper feelings, it's an affirmation. They are melting inside. They are responding to you. The key is to stay grounded and aware. This is a moment of mastery, not manipulation. As the saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You, in this moment, have become the teacher, showing them what they crave but are afraid to admit. Be aware. Recognize these signs, watch for the mirroring and understand its depth. It's a signal. It's a call to action. And when you understand it, the game changes. Be present, be aware, because when you walk the paths of wisdom, guided by Stoic principles, you begin to win, not just in the world, but in the hearts of others. Their hearts, stirred by your presence, will speak to you in ways that words never can. So, if you want to master this art, keep your eyes open for this sign. It's the key to truly understanding the depth of connection. Sign 4. The voice cracks or softens around you. When someone shows signs of vulnerability, such as a sudden change in their voice when they speak to you, it's never by chance. Picture this. They're in the middle of a sentence, and for no apparent reason, their voice cracks, softens, or falters for a brief moment. Maybe they stumble over their words, or their tone shifts to something much gentler, more vulnerable. This subtle shift in their vocal delivery is far from random. It's a direct reflection of the emotional shift happening within them. The voice, after all, is intricately tied to our nervous system. It's one of the first places emotional exposure is revealed. Whether it's the nervousness of anxiety, the pull of attraction, or the longing of deep, hidden feelings, our bodies can't always conceal what our minds are trying to suppress. A cracked voice, a soft laugh, or an unexpected whisper are all signs of someone being emotionally affected. It's like their body betrays them, exposing feelings they may not even be aware of or trying to hide. In those moments, their voice becomes a window into their true emotions, an emotional leak they can't control. Now, if you notice that this change in tone only happens when they're speaking to you and not to others, then you're witnessing something much deeper than mere nervousness or a fleeting moment. It's a clear sign that their feelings towards you run far deeper than they're letting on. Their emotional state shifts in your presence because you've somehow triggered something profound within them. They may try to keep it hidden, but when someone is melting inside, it's impossible to entirely conceal what's happening inside. The old Stoic wisdom would tell us to master our emotions, to hold firm, to possess an iron mind, one that doesn't waver. But even the strongest of minds can be moved when confronted with deep feelings of attraction, admiration, or longing. Stoic principles emphasize control, but there are moments when even the most disciplined mind can falter. Their voice betrays them, slipping in every trembling syllable and revealing their internal turmoil. Take this as a reminder of how fragile even the most hardened individuals can be when confronted with true emotional vulnerability. The Stoic doesn't let emotions dictate their behaviour, but they also don't ignore their humanity. We must acknowledge that when we see signs like a softened voice or a sudden emotional crack, it's not something to dismiss. It's a powerful moment of emotional exposure, and it's as much a signal for you to recognise as it is for them to understand. If someone's voice betrays them when you're near, it's a reflection of a shift in their world, one that you've unknowingly influenced. And that's a testament to your presence, to your power in their life, no matter how subtle it may seem. We all have moments where we try to keep our emotions hidden, but it's often in these small, seemingly inconsequential moments that the truth of our feelings comes to light. Take a step back and reflect on this when you encounter someone whose voice shifts when they speak to you. Consider the deeper connection at play. Are you truly aware of the influence you have on those around you? How do you handle the emotional shifts of those you interact with? Are you someone who provides a safe space for vulnerability, or do you create a world where the Stoic principles of emotional control are revered to the point of silence? Take this lesson into your daily life and share your thoughts. Have you experienced a moment where someone's voice changed in your presence? How did you respond? Do you see the beauty in recognizing someone's vulnerability, or do you lean on the Stoic ideal of unyielding strength? Share your perspective in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about the true power of emotional expression and the wisdom we can learn from understanding it. If you've noticed someone's voice cracking or softening when they speak to you, it's a clear sign of emotional vulnerability. It's a moment where their true feelings are revealed, whether they want to admit it or not. Recognizing this power in your presence can change how you see emotional connections. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below with, "I acknowledge the power of vulnerability," Let's dive deep into understanding emotional shifts and how they shape the way we connect with others. Sign 5. Their guard is up, but they let you in just a little. Their guard is up, but they let you in just a little. It's subtle at first, a quiet kind of tension that you can almost feel in the air between you. You can tell they're cautious, carefully observing every word, every gesture, as if measuring how much of themselves they can afford to show. There's an invisible wall, and it's their first line of defense, built from past wounds and experiences they're not yet ready to face. Perhaps when things get too real, they deflect with humor, masking the vulnerability beneath with a joke. Maybe, when the conversation turns too deep, they skillfully steer it back to safer territory. It's a dance, a back and forth, where you can sense that they're keeping something back, even though they want to be open. But then, just when you least expect it, they'll slip. A personal detail, a truth that feels too raw to admit, will unexpectedly emerge. It's like a secret spilling out through a tiny crack in their emotional armor, as if they can't fully contain it anymore. This is the sign of conflicted vulnerability, the quiet chaos that exists within them. They're not yet ready to trust you with everything, not fully, but in that fleeting moment, they give you a glimpse. It's almost like an unspoken confession, a moment of silent surrender. Psychologically, this is a significant, albeit cautious, sign that they're emotionally melting in your presence. Their defenses don't crumble all at once. They fall in pieces, small moments, brief pauses, almost confessions, and eyes that convey more than their words ever could. It's not about them throwing down their walls in one swift motion. It's more about the hesitation, the tension that lingers, followed by these small, revealing gestures that can make you question what you're seeing. But there it is, undeniable. A heart torn between two forces, fear and desire. They're afraid of what it means to be vulnerable, but at the same time they want to let you in. They might not admit it openly, but in the smallest of moments, they're silently signaling that they trust you more than they want to, more than they thought possible. They're saying, "I'm scared, but there's something here that compels me to let you see inside." When you find yourself in this situation, you must understand that it's a dance between two opposing forces within them, protecting themselves from past hurt while at the same time yearning for connection. This is where practical Stoicism plays a key role. The Stoic rules teach us that we can't control others' actions, but we can control how we respond to them. In moments like these, patience is your greatest ally. You must let them take their time. Stoicism tells us that true strength lies in emotional restraint, in recognizing that emotional vulnerability is something we earn, not something we demand. Their vulnerability is a gift, one they're not likely to give easily, so don't rush it. Stay grounded in your own calmness, and give them the space to navigate their emotions at their own pace. It's crucial to be mindful of the fact that, while they are revealing small cracks in their emotional armor, they may not be ready for a full breakthrough. Just because they share something personal with you doesn't mean they're ready to expose everything. As the Stoic rules advise, practice self-control and maintain your emotional equilibrium. Don't force them to open up more than they're ready for, but rather create an environment where they feel comfortable and supported enough to continue sharing, piece by piece. In modern life, we're often quick to push for more from others, but understanding the value of gradual trust building is an essential part of connecting with someone on a deeper level. When you encounter someone who's emotionally melting in your presence, remember that their vulnerability is a precious thing, and it takes time to nurture. The Stoic mindset teaches us that we must control our impulses, and that includes not trying to rush the process of someone's emotional opening. Instead, let your actions speak louder than words. Show them that you can be trusted with their secrets, and that you're not going anywhere. Let your steadiness, your strength, be the anchor that allows them to relax just a little more each time. There will be times when their emotions seem like a delicate, fragile thing. One moment they're open, the next, they've pulled back. It can be frustrating, but don't mistake this for confusion or mixed signals. It's simply the process of someone who's learning to trust again, navigating the difficult path between holding on and letting go. In these moments, it's important to remind yourself of the Stoic principles that guide you through uncertainty. Remember, you are not responsible for their emotional walls, but you are responsible for how you respond to them. With patience and understanding, you'll begin to see that the cracks in their armor are not signs of weakness, but of strength, of a person willing to allow you in, even just a little at a time. The process is slow and methodical, but it is also incredibly rewarding. By embracing the principles of practical Stoicism, you can navigate this emotional terrain with wisdom and poise. You'll understand that their vulnerability is not something to be rushed or forced, it's something to be earned and honored. Every small step they take towards you is a victory. Every crack in their emotional armor is a sign that they trust you more than they did before. Don't take this lightly. Instead, recognize it as an opportunity to prove that you can be a safe place for them, one where they can gradually begin to lower their guard, knowing that their vulnerability won't be met with judgment, but with understanding and respect. As you move forward, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Emotional resilience isn't about avoiding vulnerability, it's about facing it with grace, patience, and control. The emotional walls others build are often the result of past hurts and fears, but with your calm presence and the application of practical Stoicism, you can help them find the courage to let those walls down. Don't rush the process. Don't push for more than they're ready to give. Instead, focus on creating a space where they feel safe enough to keep revealing their true selves, piece by piece, moment by moment. It's a journey that requires both patience and wisdom, but the rewards, deeper connection, stronger trust, and a bond that can weather any storm are more than worth the effort. Sign 6. Emotional delays the text. You'll notice it. They take longer to reply. The messages come slowly, carefully, like a man walking through a field of landmines. 5 drafts, multiple edits, each word scrutinized before it even touches the screen. It's not because they aren't interested. No. The truth is, they are too interested. Every response, every emoji, every punctuation mark feels like it holds weight, a weight that could tip the balance of something much deeper. Behind every delayed message is an emotional storm, a whirlpool of overthinking, a battle between what they want to say and how they think it might be received. They type, they delete, they reconsider, wondering if one wrong word or misplaced emoji might expose the rawness they're desperately trying to contain. This isn't apathy, it's emotional pressure, the kind that comes with caring too much. In psychology, they call it impression management under emotional load. When someone feels deeply, they become acutely aware of how they're being perceived, every word carrying the weight of their inner turmoil. It's not about hiding feelings, but about preserving the illusion of control. And so they hesitate, they pause, sometimes they go silent, not because they don't care, but because they care more than you could possibly imagine. In the eyes of the Stoics, such behavior wouldn't be unexpected. Epictetus, that master of emotional discipline, taught us that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In other words, detachment from the external world allows one to remain unshaken, even under pressure. But here's the paradox. The more a person feels, the more they're caught between the external pressure of revealing too much and the internal pull of wanting to be vulnerable. It's in that internal tug of war where this delay comes from. A person who feels the weight of their emotions, especially when they don't want to risk vulnerability, will second-guess every action, every word. They're not shutting down, they're guarding their inner peace. Now ask yourself, have you noticed this in their behavior? Have you observed them typing, then deleting, or waiting too long to respond to you while still being present when you're together? This is a key indicator of emotional conflict. They want to connect with you, they want to express their feelings, but they're walking the paths of wisdom that Epictetus so often spoke of. Paths where one learns to master their emotions, to hold themselves in check in the face of overwhelming desire, fear, or passion. They're caught between stoicism and the rawness of their own heart. They understand the need for restraint, but at the same time, they're tempted by the desire to pour their soul out. And here lies the true nature of emotional delays. It's not a lack of interest or a reflection of being too busy. It's the quiet realization that to speak too soon might cause harm. If their responses seem more deliberate, calculated, or they appear distant online but genuinely present when together, it's not because they don't care, it's because they care too much. When someone is melting inside, even the simplest message can feel like a confession, an act of exposing their most vulnerable self. They would rather withhold their thoughts than risk saying too much, too soon. You see, Stoicism teaches us that true mastery over our emotions doesn't lie in denial or suppression, but in control. It's in understanding that life is a balance between engagement and restraint. Those who show signs of hesitation in their communication understand this balance, perhaps even without fully realizing it. They fear that by revealing too much too soon, they may disrupt the fragile equilibrium they've built for themselves. The paths of wisdom are never easy. They are paved with the understanding that true power comes from within, and the ability to control our reactions is the truest form of strength. To feel something deeply and yet maintain composure, to choose not to overshare because it might overwhelm the other, is an art in itself. So how does this relate to your modern life? It's time to recognize the emotional delay for what it truly is. It's not an obstacle. It's a sign of someone who has mastered their emotions, someone who has learned the power of silence, of pause. The next time you find yourself waiting for a response, don't be discouraged. Understand that it's the weight of their feelings and their desire to keep control that is holding them back. And if you truly want to connect with such a person, give them the time they need. Respect their boundaries, and when they do speak, listen with the same care they put into every word. Remember, the path of wisdom is not just about finding answers, it's about the pursuit of understanding. So when you feel that hesitation, see it not as an obstacle, but as a signal. It is the sign of someone who is walking their own path of wisdom, balancing emotions, and slowly but surely, mastering the art of emotional stoicism. The truth is, they do care. And when they feel safe enough, when they've crafted the perfect message, they'll share it with you. No edits, no hesitation, just raw, unfiltered truth. The art of patience is a victory, a true stoicism win. If you understand this, you'll not only be able to connect deeper, but you'll also begin to embody these paths of wisdom in your own life. Don't rush, don't push, let the silence be. In the end, it will speak louder than any words could, and when that message comes, you will know it's worth the wait. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Sign 7. Their presence lingers even in absence. You'll notice them, not through grand gestures, but through an undeniable subtle force that seems to draw them into your orbit over and over again. It's as if fate keeps putting them in your path. They're not always in your immediate presence, but they're never far either. It's the casual comment in a group chat, the occasional glimpse of their name in a message thread, or the briefest interaction that carries an inexplicable weight, just enough to remind you they are there without being overt. This isn't mere coincidence. This is emotional orbiting. It's a powerful psychological pattern where someone, unable or unwilling to directly express their feelings, still finds ways to remain close to you in the most subtle ways possible. It's the quiet shadow they cast in your life, making their presence felt in places and moments you hadn't expected. It's the unmistakable sense that, despite their absence, they're still there, quietly lingering, even in silence. It's important to understand. This is not manipulation. This is longing, pure and simple. It's a quiet, careful, unresolved emotion that keeps them tethered to your world, even if only in the faintest of ways. When someone is truly melting inside, when they're feeling something deep, for you, but can't fully bring it to the surface. You'll feel their presence even in their absence. It's in the music you listen to, the fleeting memories that surface in random moments, or the times you suddenly find yourself thinking of them, even though you hadn't intended to. This is how deep connections work. Some bonds are so strong, so profoundly rooted, that they transcend mere physical proximity. Even when the person isn't around, their presence echoes. It lingers in the spaces they've left behind, lingering long after they've walked away. This is the essence of Old Stoic wisdom at play. The Stoics taught us to master our minds, to forge an iron mind capable of enduring even the deepest of emotional storms. Their principles guide us in moments like this. They show us that true power doesn't come from controlling others or seeking validation from them. True power lies in controlling our own emotional responses. The Stoic doesn't chase or demand attention, nor do they seek to manipulate or force others to show their feelings. Instead, they remain steady, unwavering in their own principles, recognizing that emotions like longing, desire, and even absence can be tools for growth. They understand that even the most subtle signals from others, whether in the form of emotional orbiting or silent gestures, are reflections of the world around them and offer valuable lessons in patience and perspective. You must learn to recognize these signs, to understand that someone who truly melts inside when they're near you doesn't need to shout it from the rooftops. The Stoic mind knows that silence is often the loudest signal. When someone lingers, even when they're not physically present, it's not always a sign of weakness or confusion. It's a reflection of deep, quiet yearning, and it's in that yearning that both you and they can grow. As you embrace the Old Stoic way of thinking, you begin to understand that longing, when tempered with wisdom, is not something to be feared. It's something to be understood, something that deepens the connection, whether or not it's ever fully expressed. Remember, the iron mind doesn't chase or demand attention. It remains grounded. It doesn't waver in the face of silence or subtlety. It remains steady, strong, and aware that emotions like longing can be transformative. You must learn to harness that power, to see these signs not as signals of insecurity, but as reflections of a bond that goes beyond words and actions. The Stoic understands that these moments, these subtle reminders, are part of life's intricate design. They are not to be overanalyzed or feared, but accepted as part of the ebb and flow of human connection. And so, the next time you find yourself thinking of someone who seems to linger in your life, even when they're not physically present, remember that the connection is likely deeper than you realize. Trust in the power of the iron mind. Recognize that what may seem like a quiet presence is, in fact, a powerful force. The Stoics understood that silence often speaks the loudest, and in those quiet moments of longing and presence, there is much to learn. Don't ignore them, don't rush them. Instead, let them unfold in their own time, for they carry lessons in patience, growth, and emotional mastery. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope this video gave you a deeper understanding of those subtle yet powerful signs that someone might be melting inside when they're near you. It's fascinating how emotions can show up in ways we don't always notice, and sometimes the most profound feelings are expressed in the smallest, most quiet ways. These moments of vulnerability, when a person is emotionally unraveling without even realizing it, are not only powerful, but also incredibly fragile. Here's the thing. When someone is melting inside, they often don't even fully realize it themselves. It's like their emotions are rushing ahead of their conscious mind, leaving behind these little clues that we can pick up on. They might try to deny it, convince themselves that they're fine, or even push you away, but the body always speaks the truth. Their subtle signs are telling a story that words can't. It's not always about what's being said, it's about what's being felt beneath the surface, and that's where you come in. If you can recognize these signs, you're unlocking a secret language of the heart, one that isn't often spoken aloud, but is universally understood. Emotions like this are deep, and they're often more powerful because they aren't shouted or expressed in grand gestures. They whisper to us. They are the quiet breakdown of walls that sometimes even the person going through it isn't ready to acknowledge yet. This kind of vulnerability is a beautiful thing, and it's a reminder to be kind, not just to others, but also to ourselves. So, my sincere advice to you, pay attention to those little signals and give space for both yourself and others to process emotions, even when they're difficult or unspoken. Don't rush to judge or jump to conclusions. Instead, approach these moments with patience, understanding, and an open heart. We all experience these silent emotional shifts, and it's in those moments that true connections can form. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever caught these signs in someone, or maybe even in yourself? I'd love to hear your experiences. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about these subtle yet powerful emotional moments. If you found this video insightful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, so you never miss a deep dive into the fascinating psychology of love, human connection, and emotions. And don't forget to stay tuned for our next video, 5 tiny signs. Someone is secretly fighting their feelings for you? Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks again for watching. Take care, be kind, and I'll see you next time.